Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another beautifully blessed, peaceful, prosperous, productive, and phenomenally powerful day. We are your hosts, Tory the barber, the one and only, the only one under the sun. And look, I need everybody to get up on their feet. And let's welcome the man, the myth, the legend, FreeWillco.
Man, what's happening? Thank you, and welcome to another edition of the FreeWill podcast, where we create a community that normalizes growth. You know, for people like you and me, you know what I'm saying? So we could be the best versions of ourselves, huh? What's happening, Tory? How you doing today, boy?
Man, I'm feeling amazing on this wonderful day. We are here. We are alive. We are proud. And guess what? Thank y'all for joining us on the FreeWill podcast. I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Yes, sir.
That was dramatic. That was dramatic.
Oh man, man, I'm doing pretty good. It's daytime. We usually kind of record at night, so it feels fresh. I got like buku energy, like I'm ready to take off. You know what I'm saying? But it's phenomenal. I have a great day today. It's Monday, the best day of the week.
Yeah, Lord.
Because it's time to murder this week way more than you murdered last week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
sounds kind of violent, but sometimes you gotta get violent.
Yeah, heard?
Nah, I'm playing well, but yeah, man. So yeah, man. Today is great, bro. You didn't really get into your day though, man. Like you know, you was like it was really good.
Man, no, my day.
Need details.
My day. So far, so good for me today. I'm talking about like, got up this morning, brought my daughter to school. Wonderful day. Ate a little something today. I did this thing this morning. I was listening to YouTube, and the video was talking about how water is like liquid crystals, and how water remembers everything that's done to it. And so, to make a long story short, how that translated, I actually before I drank this bottle of water right here, I actually talked to my water, and I thanked my water for doing what it's about to do for my body. And more or less, I don't want to say prayed over my water, but you know, just like similar when you pray over your food, you raising the vibrations of the food for those who think like that and who believe that kind of stuff. And I did that for the water, and I'm appreciative, man. And that's how my morning going. I'm moving in gratitude this morning. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I feel great. I feel good.
Hey, imagine you just chilling. You be like, hey man, can you reach me a bottle of water? And they start trying to talk to you again. Be like, wait, give me a second.
Hold on, give me a second.
Wait a minute. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay.
Come on now.
All right. It's good.
Tell your water you love your water.
I love you. Today.
You hear me?
To that door is born.
Tell that water you love till I piss you out. Tell that water I love you.
Look, I'm gonna piss you out gracefully. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna close the door to the bathroom.
You hear me?
Ready to tall the seat up. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be me and you right now.
Man, I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, sir.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, it even tastes better.
That's what listen. Did it really taste better?
Yeah, I don't know. Something about it. I guess because I had with anything, when you showing restraint first before you do it, like it's like when you like sit there and you appreciate it more, like subconsciously. So I had about this much water in the one in the car and left, and I did that before I drank the water, and I swear to y'all, that's the smoothest Ozarka water I have ever drunk in my life. I promise. Yeah,
I promise. It was smooth. It was soft. It was like. It was just different. Like the texture of the water was a little different. Hey
man, don't knock it till you try it.
Come on now.
Don't knock it till you try it. Yeah, man.
Man, cool. Listen, that's how my day going. That's how my day.
Yeah, going. Man. So without further ado, I'm grateful.
Hold on, cool. Real quick before we get to the grateful thing.
Yeah.
If we could just back that up a little bit. That's cool with you?
Yeah, we good, man.
All right, cool. I want to ask you a question real quick, man, because it's kind of been on my thoughts. So I'm kind of watching Bel-Air, and this is a spoiler alert for those who not caught up in season 3. Now they got a part where
season 3 now.
season 3.
Yeah, I gotta catch up, man. I'm on season 1. I ain't watched season 2 or 3, but it's good. Come on,
big old spoiler alert. So, Carlton, Lisa, they used to talk, but Lisa talked to Will now. That's his old lady, right? And Carlton wound up going to rehab because he was on that coke and all that. He was cutting up. He met this girl in rehab.
On that booger sugar.
Man,
that smack.
That booger sugar. With the girl named Amira. And Amira got her own stuff going on. Long story short, Amira tried to commit suicide. And Lisa Carlton is affected by it because she tried to drown herself in the pool that Lisa swam in. So she kind of got like some PTSD from it. Carlton, that was his old lady. So he messed up about it. But Carlton and Will started this business called Black Cess. And they did like a sales pitch to like some investors, and they got some offers. And it's kind of like time is of the essence type of situation. The man hitting Will up like, what y'all gonna do? We got some investors, woo. Now Carlton kind of like grieving his relationship because he hadn't really been able to talk to her. She recovering, but the parents kind of like isolating her, just letting her recover. So he not all the way there. Lisa kind of going through it because the girl drowned in the pool while she swimming because she a swimmer. So Will come to the table, apologize to Carlton for not coming to him soon and all that kind of stuff. Then he asked him, he like, I know this probably not the best time, but we got some business to take care of with the business. You know what I'm saying? We got some offers and stuff like that. So Carlton was like, man, forget the business. Like, I'm done with it. You know what I'm saying? And he kind of stormed off, and Lisa was kind of like, she was kind of, turned off by it too. You know what I'm saying? And shit. So everybody kind of like against Will, like, man, you selfish. Like, you don't think about nothing but yourself. You know what I'm saying? So cool. I don't know. I hope I painted a vivid picture, but I want to know what's your thoughts on that. Because, I share my thoughts on it, but I just want to hear your thoughts on it. What you think about that? Like, Will, like, do you feel like Will is wrong in that moment? Or how do you feel like he should have handled that?
So the girl drowned? She died?
Yeah, basically. I don't know if she fully died, but she was unconscious. And she, they did the CPR and all that kind of stuff. And she, how that go teased.
Right.
And then she shook back. So she probably was dead.
That's tough, man. Like, up until recently, I would have said that, hey, man, I would like straight up would have said that, hey, man, only the strong survive. And man, with Will. But like, man, like, I know y'all probably tired of hearing me talk about this, but like with my girl being gone, bro, I really feel like somebody, like, it literally feels like a death. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, me not being able to speak to her at all and not being able to see what's up with her well-being, like it kind of feels like that. And I kind of I've been off my game. Like, it's hard. It is extremely hard to maneuver when you have a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you can't, like, and it still is true. Like, only the strong survive, and you got to go through it. And it takes somebody who knows how to manipulate their emotions, like, on a certain level, because you can manipulate your emotions, but you know what I'm saying, but you can manipulate your emotions if something happened. You might have gotten a wreck, you know what I'm saying, you gotta pay some bills, but let's say like your right hand, your woo, like the chick that you whatever, they died, and like a big piece of your life is missing. That's another level. So I would say that like with Will, I would say that with Will, he definitely gonna move like how he moved because it's not happening to him. So he's still at the situation at hand, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's just a messed up situation, man. I would definitely say Will's supposed to still move how he's supposed to move, like, because that's really not his. That's like with me and you. Let's say something happened on your side, and then I stop everything I got going on, and I'm over there, right? I could comfort you, but a principle that I have and that I'll choose to stick by is that if something happened, then we got to get something out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't be like, let's do it for them kind of thing. Like, like to try to switch it to manipulate the emotions, and everybody don't have that. So I would say that I understand where they're coming from, but we still need to be. I would still want to move so we can at least have something. Like we need some positivity to be going in with this negativity and not just all negativity. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about that.
Yeah, man. Cause I even put it in, in perspective of like, even if it was, if I was in that situation, but man. My thoughts on it personally. You see what I'm saying? That's that water. Listen, y'all speak life into y'all food and y'all water before y'all drink it and just see what it do different. Anyways, we ain't talking about that.
Yeah.
So when it come down to like Will, right? When it come down to that situation, this is how I feel about that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Will wasn't wrong. Before his girlfriend drowned or tried to commit suicide, they had a business. And they was committed to the success of the business. Me and Cole talk about this. When people commit to doing something, they don't say we're gonna go after this, and you didn't have no unless this happened or unless that happened. It was like, we gonna do this. We didn't take account for what could possibly come up and what's, so that's just something that popped up. Yeah, it's not happening to Will, so I understand why he ain't, he not feeling it like how they feeling it. He didn't have a personal tie, a personal connection to the girl, but at the end of the day, the business gotta go on. And it's not like he didn't take a moment at all to acknowledge, to just, but he already been pushing it off because of what's going on. But it's time to talk about it. Like, it's time. We running out of time. We gonna do this or we what? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he checking in with dude like, I need you to check back in the game.
Right.
And he got pissed off about it. So I don't know. I don't feel like Will was wrong. I feel like he did all that he could have done. And and
you know how you gotta think about it? Like, you gotta think about it like, what if? Because first of all, business in the essence of just the word is something that is kind of logical. I have to take care of kind of thing. I gotta take care of this business. This is something I gotta do. So think of it like, let's say something like that happened and you had to pick your daughter up from school. You just not gonna not show up and pick your daughter up from school just because, you know what I'm saying, you got something going on. And you gonna feel some resistance. Like, I don't want to move at all. Like, I don't want to do nothing. I don't even want to go pick. I don't want to do nothing. But you push through it because it's still something that has to be done. Now, I think the difference is the value that you have in both things. Like, I might value my daughter more than I value this business. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't see this business as a lifelong thing and I don't connect it with something that could even get us out of this funk that we in, like this situation, like the business can affect like your mental state. Like, you depressed about a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe I could get you better help if I got better money. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like how your brain is connected to these things. You know what I'm saying? If I see the business as that level, if it's high up enough in my head, then I'll still show up for it, right?
Yeah, I love that. I love how you made that connection with value, because when you think about that particular scenario, how Will feel about that situation with her don't have as much value to him as it does to Carlton. The business mean more to Will than it does to Carlton. Not saying that the life don't matter,
right?
But he literally gave up pursuing basketball. That was his ticket. For real. And he gave up basketball to pursue developing his business. So he all in on his business. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's the value structure is different. But without further ado, we got to get back on our regular scheduled program. I appreciate your feedback on that.
for sure, man.
And y'all drop in the comments if y'all have thoughts and opinions about that topic, man. Y'all let us know what y'all think about that, how y'all feeling, and just what y'all thoughts on it.
For
So
sure.
without further ado, man, let's get to gratitude, man. Tell the people what you're grateful for, Cole.
Man, I'm grateful, man. First of all, I'm grateful for the man up above, for the godliness that's inside of me, for the godliness that's inside the world that I live in. Listen, I woke up this morning. I exercised the power that he gave me, the power of my mind over my body. My body wanted to be asleep this morning, but I woke up. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to, what I mean, I'm grateful for my people. I'm grateful for my lady, man. That I was able to hear from her yesterday. It was only for 5 minutes, but anything at this point counts. Like, and that's crazy, man. Like, okay, I'm gonna get into that right quick. When I used to spend 24/7 with this chick, like I'll be able to go a little minute without talking to her. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Even sometimes I'll be like, babe, I don't want to talk to you. Like, give me a second. You know what I'm saying? I'll talk to you later. I could talk to you when I get home. I don't have that now. So I value even a second of it. Right? Sometimes for like that is why that's why we gotta be we have to practice gratefulness, not even just by acknowledging it, but we have to practice gratefulness by, like, one way you can practice being grateful for something is kind of ridding yourself of it. You know what I'm saying? That's why you supposed to. That's one thing that you get out of sitting there and praying over your food or praying over your water before you get it, or you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to do such and such today, or I don't do this until the weekends, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just getting it and you just doing it whenever you can, you're not going to be grateful for it, because you can do it whenever you could. You're going to put it off. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so that is also a way that you can practice being grateful. And that's something that I learned from that experience. But I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my man Tory the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? The man, the mental legend. Man, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for I'm eternally grateful right now. I'm feeling good. Yeah, man. Yeah. What about you, man? What you grateful for?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yes, sir.
God dang it. Oh man, I'm thankful for the Most High. I'm most thankful for God, because I'm learning to put God first in everything that I do. And it's very easy to forget that. It's very easy to be so excited and inspired about something and not give thanks and praise where it's due and when it's due. And it should always be first. And I'm most thankful for that. Secondly, I'm most thankful for my wonderful lady. The first lady. The first lady. I'm most thankful for her, and and everything that we doing, and all the help and all the the support that she give me, and all the the holding me accountable to certain things. You know what I'm saying, and holding me to the fire sometimes when I need to kind of like get on certain things. You know what I'm saying. I'm thankful for her for that. And Mr. Cole, I don't thank you enough, dog, but I really do appreciate everything that we have going on, everything that we've grown from and through together. I'm eternally thankful and grateful for that. That even from when we met, when I met Cole, we met one night and we was getting ready to go out with our partners at the time. And Cole, he the type of dude to where we going out. We not out getting in one car. I'm driving my own car.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm driving my car too. You know what I'm saying? So it's how it was. But then when we clicked up, man, we snapped together like some magnets, man. And we've been rocking ever since. And it's been a wonderful thing, a beautiful thing growing with him along this journey in life. Oh, man. My parents, I'm grateful to still have parents. Both of my parents, my wonderful children, Kaisley and Ave. I'm thankful for them. And my clients. I don't think I forgot y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Last but certainly not least, my clients, man. Because I come on here as Tory the barber. You dig? So I gotta rock with them, and they rocking with me. And I'm thankful for my clients, man. That's my support system. So yeah, that's what I'm thankful for, Mr. Cole.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Um, yeah, man. Without further ado, man,
Let's
let's
drop
drop
that.
that.
Word on the street. Word on the street. Word on the street.
A Florida high school football player died after collapsing after a game on Friday night. Chance Gaynor played wide receiver and defensive back for Port St. Joe High School. The 18-year-old senior collapsed during a game at Liberty County High School. Gaynor was running toward the play when he went down. Port St. Joe athletic director, Vice Principal Tim Davis told the Northwest Florida Daily News. Coach rushed to his side when he went down and called for paramedics immediately. He just went to the ground suddenly, Davis told the outlet. Gaynor, who scored a touchdown in the game, was taken to a hospital in an ambulance. He later died at the hospital. Davis said there were about 4 minutes left in Friday's game when school officials learned of the teen's death. The decision was made to finish the game with Port St. Joe winning 28-0.
Ooh.
Man, that's tough.
That's a lot to take in. You know, when I read that article, man, I actually kind of felt like I wouldn't say I had like goosebumps, but I definitely felt some sort of emotional thing about that because I was just thinking about. I guess it was when I was thinking about like the football players and what it's like to like I've played football and even been to football games where somebody got hurt, they got to take them off the field and different things like that. But then to actually get that confirmation, get that call and be like, man, yeah, he didn't make it. I can only imagine what that's like. Yeah, man. So, ooh.
And they, crazy. We was talking about earlier. They actually finished the game after that.
Yeah.
Now, looks like the kids didn't know that the guy had died. They didn't tell them till afterwards, but that is a difficult decision to make. Like, what I'm saying? Like, hey, we're gonna finish the game. And I don't know if they knew immediately. No, because they said he went to the hospital where he later died, right? Okay, so they didn't know immediately. They just kind of finished the game or whatever. But still, like, that's tough. That's a tough decision, man. My teammate's down, but I'm sure after that, I don't know what the score was when he went down, but they murdered them after that. Like, I guess they used the, like, man, my dog went down. I'm gonna make sure we gotta make sure we dominate for him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So, that's tragic, man.
If we can, man, let's just give a moment of silence for him, his family, the team members, everybody that was mentally, even emotionally affected by his loss. He was only 18 years old. He was only 18 years old, man, playing a game that he loved. And you never know, man. That's why it's super duper important to do things like pray over your water, man. Like, it's the smallest things that sound funny, but that's you don't take nothing for granted because, hey, man, you don't take nothing for granted. You don't take nothing for granted, dog. You gotta try to be as mindful and appreciative of every moment.
Right. I wonder what causes stuff like that. I'm sure there's like some kind of underlying health thing that makes someone collapse. You know what I'm saying? Make some stuff all of a sudden. People like to, I don't think like that. People like to be like, oh man, stuff just happened. I don't think like that, because if stuff just happens, why doesn't it just happen to all of us? And I would like to think that the world that God created, he gave us control over the ability to complete our mission. You know what I'm saying? And we could just randomly not complete the mission one day. I choose not to believe in that, right? So it's like, what can we do health-wise to mitigate these chances, right? You know what I'm saying? We may not know what causes them, but health is big, man. A lot of people just move, like we just be moving. we just do what's normal to us. Like we just, we work out, but we gonna eat that pizza, we gonna eat those tacos, you know what I'm saying? And all that stuff, it's not, it tastes good, but that stuff is not, it's literally killing us. Like we
That
literally,
man, let me tell you something. That man just had some pizza. That's why he.
that's why the first thing came to my mind was the pizza. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad.
Man,
And I had a cheese pizza and I feel bad. But
never make it feel better.
So a lot of
Cole,
this stuff, like not knowing, is not an excuse.
If I can real quick, what is it, Cole? What is it? What was I about to say? You said health concerns. You said probably with some underlying health concerns. Well, with this particular situation, 18 years old, they say he was running to the play. He was running back to the play, I believe. If not the huddle, the play, or whatever the case is. So, so he probably could have got hit, delivered a hit, because he played on both sides of the ball. And that's kind of like an Inky Johnson thing. You know what I'm saying? Inky Johnson had a similar story where he was a DB and he hit a dude and he just passed out, and so I don't think he necessarily had any underlying issues, but sometimes, man, one little hit, and to tap on to the purpose thing with God, I think we may have a purpose, we may have a mission, you know what I'm saying, but sometimes things kind of derail, you know what I'm saying, according to choices you make, because every choice you make have consequences. And sometimes, even in the karmic law cycle of life, you know what I'm saying? You may have a plan, a purpose, but if karma spin the block on you and it ain't in your favor, it could derail you, you know what I'm saying? And
but see, I'm saying too, like that's still stuff that's kind of within our control, you know what I'm saying? Like even let's say, big ups to Inky Johnson. Like there are, you know what I mean? Like it's like there are forms that you know what I'm saying? Like when you run, you're supposed to drop the shoulder, you're supposed to woo the woo. And that could have not even been his fault. It could be the fact that the other guy didn't tackle like he was supposed to tackle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there are still things that you do. How you do anything is how you do everything. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
And you want to not take certain things for granted. Like, oh man, I'm good in that area. Like I've been doing good in the area. I'm gonna take the day off, or I'm gonna skip this part. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just anything you can do to not take certain things for granted, and you know what I'm saying, like value it so you can have that in your favor. Like just have it in your favor. Maybe something happen, right? But it'll have to be an act of God himself for it to happen to you and not be a fluke accident, or you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be able to get in a wreck because God wanted me to get in a wreck, not because I was being careless or I didn't know how to drive for other people. You know what I'm saying? Which is still careless.
I get what you're saying. I don't want to get in the wreck at all, man.
Yeah,
but I get what you're saying. It's God's plan.
Stuff we don't want to happen. I want it to only be God's plan and not be, you know what I'm saying, a plan from my misplanning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel that.
So that's all I got to say, man.
I feel that.
Just do your thing on all levels so you can mitigate these things. We can't stop everything from happening to us, but we can mitigate these things. You know what I'm saying? And don't take it for granted. Like, oh, I'm good. That'll never happen to me kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? It'll make you blind to certain things that you need to be doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So big ups to my mans.
Sure.
That's tragic, bro. That's tragic. That's messed up, man. Because you don't have, a lot of people don't think that way, to where it's like you get mad at God, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why this happened. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have no explanation. I don't know what happened, what's going on. Maybe we could read a little bit more and see what actually
is going on. Yeah.
But that's tough. Well,
prayers to the family. Prayers to the family.
Family.
But man,
yeah.
But that was the word on the street, Cole. but today, you know, and we kind of tapped on it earlier. You kind of mentioned it earlier when we was talking about the Will Smith scenario or the Will with the Bella show scenario. We was talking about value, and you mentioned like the value of that situation. It may not rest on, you know, Will as heavy as it did on, you know, Carlton and Lisa. You know what I'm saying? In that particular scenario earlier, and that's essentially what we're talking about today. We're talking about value and replaceability. And little backstory on this concept, on this topic. I think me and Cole was having a conversation, and we was just talking about we were talking about being replaceable, like just what like in anything, but I think in that particular conversation it was like in your workspace, and just being replaceable in your workspace, and actually actually being so good in your place and your field of work to where like you're not replaceable or you're not easily replaceable. You know what I'm saying? So, but when we talking about values and replaceability, it don't only rest on the concept of like working. It could be on, you know, people. It could be on relationships. It can be on inanimate objects. You know what I'm saying? Things that, you know, that we hold near and dear to us. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today. That's what the conversation is centered around. Cool.
Sure.
Let me take one quick second. So here in the notes, Cole, here what we got. So we got intrinsic value. No, not intrinsic value. We got intrinsic versus perceived value. Right? What distinguishes the inherent worth of a person or object from the values of society assigned to them? What do you think about that?
What distinguishes the inherent worth of a person or object from the value a society assigns to them? I think more or less. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I got you. I think that how a person assigns the value, and we kind of spoke on this on the episode of the courage to interrupt, where you know a lot of times we don't have, you know what I'm saying, our value, like we don't know like the value, or we don't have the value because we don't put time into it. So my value is measured in the things that I put time into, right? Like I know that in this area I'm very valuable because I actually put some time to figure this thing out. Like I invested time, money, and whatever else I needed to make sure it was right, you know, and you know, like I know that, right? And nobody else had to do that because I did it myself. Now with the society side, society has their own like rubric or measurement, if you will, measurement process or whatever you want to call it. And I would say most times, it will be close to your inner value. And sometimes it won't, depending on the, like, you know, we got a whole bunch of stuff where how society looks, and you know, if it don't look flashy, it don't have no value, you know what I'm saying? But you don't really know what's going on, you know. But most times I got you. Most times, like if I know how, like if somebody hired me to drive and I've been driving my whole life, they probably gonna feel like I'm good at driving. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm doing stuff that only you can get with experience, right? That's how. What you think about that?
I think well, something that I wanted to kind of pull out of what you said was like you say you gave an analogy of something that's flashy, and everybody like, let's just say society, you know, everybody like it and they placed a certain kind of value on it because it is a flashy thing, right? Because I'm looking at the question, and it's asking what distinguishes the inherent worth of it, of a personal object from the society thing. And so And that to what you were saying about the flashiness of an object, for example. What about that differs from like how it like what it mean to you versus what everybody else, what it mean to most people? In other words, like the value that you get from it because you may get praise or you may get worship for it or get a lot of compliments for it. So am I understanding the question correctly? Based off of how you explaining it, it's kind of like what I get out of it personally versus like how do you distinguish what I get out of it personally versus what like and what it means to me personally versus what it means to other people?
Right. So you saying like how come I may not value the fact that it's flashy and they do kind of value that it's flashy kind of thing? Like what would distinguish, like let's say if I don't value it and they do value it, what would distinguish, what's the difference kind of thing?
What's the distinguishing factor?
Right. I think that is, I guess it's just the difference in like, I guess as simple as it's just the difference in values. Like I probably grew up learning that stuff has value without it being flashy, right? Or I could have grew up with the notion with the society thing, like grew up on Instagram and seen that flashy is the thing. So I feel like it's just a difference in values because I think it could be the same. Like I could be like, who is society and who's to say I'm not a part of that society?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like the only thing that would differ is if I just had different values that they have.
Facts. So right along with that, and I think it almost go hand in hand. How do personal experiences shape our perception of value?
Yeah. That's it's like going along with what I just said, right? Like I just, if I grew up and it was like pops and moms always chose the flashy stuff, obviously that's a value thing. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't, they're like, it's flashy, but I wanna, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go and get this Honda right here because it's gonna last longer. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I had an experience, like I know somebody who had the Honda and I know somebody who had the Mustang, and the Mustang was flash, they got all the girls, they was whoop the whoop, but at some point the Honda person had to go rescue the Mustang person. You know what I'm saying? The Mustang broke down. And now in my mind, I'm like, okay, cool. If I want to be flashy, this is where I go. If I want to last long, you know what I'm saying, this was where I go.
Man, so I would have to say to answer that too. Because I've kind of been in that situation with the car thing, and it's based on, for me, it's based on where I'm at in my life. That's what I realized, how to place value on certain things. Because when I got the car that I got now, it's very reliable to me. And my other car was reliable, but it came with a ticket too. You know, it was like just the cost of just not just maintenance, but just keeping it going. Shit, gas. You know what I'm saying? Burning through gas every 3 days, and it just wasn't. It just really wasn't beneficial. Like I got some. It came with perks, but the perks really, in the long run, the perks just wasn't worth it. You know what I'm saying? The perks wasn't worth it. But for me right now, I don't care about the perks where I'm at in my life right now. Like the perks don't matter to me no more. So whether I had it or not, I don't think it'll be. And I think if when I get it again, right? Because that's something that I'm into. I won't be getting it for the reasons that I got it for then. You know what I'm saying? And a big part of the reason was because I really like this thing, but at the same time, I'ma like it and appreciate it more too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna make sure that I'm where I need to be and I'm not biting off more than I can chew. So that's my own personal experience.
I kind of want you to go like a little bit deeper because I know what you're talking about perks and stuff, but I don't think the other people don't know what you mean like by perks. Like what was one of the other things that was tying you to that particular vehicle? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think one of the main things that drew me to the vehicle was just the experience of it, period. The experience of putting my hands on something that, 2-3 years ago I wasn't able to put my hands on. You know what I'm saying? When I was in high school, I remember when I was a freshman in high school and I told my daddy I wanted a Camaro. I was in the Camaros heavy then. This was before I even knew cool. I wanted a Camaro, you know what I'm saying? And then that kind of changed. I started having kids and stuff. So I'm like, I'm gonna need some more space.
Photo,
So
yeah.
I started looking at the Chargers, and I kind of like fell in love with the Chargers. But collateral was my confidence. I think that was one of the biggest things, my self-confidence, my ego. I'll put it like that. My ego, I felt like the man. I knew that my car was faster than probably like 70% of the cars on the road. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting up in the Charger, not just in the Charger, but when you pull up, you hear me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt good. Like, I just felt good standing next to it. I'll shoot at, a chick, you know what I'm saying, whatever, walking past or whatever. I just felt like, and even if she wasn't fooling with me and she shot me down, I still felt like the man because, I'm coming through. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's just what the car did for me. Like, it was just, I had that collateral, value from it. You know what I'm saying? But, and I think in an indirect way, even like when I pull up at work and then, I got the barbers come out. Oh yeah, Tory, that bit hard. Tory, let me see that bill. Let me spin that bill. Let's go for a ride. Let me take me to the store. Whoa. You know what I'm saying? And I was burning gas, but I ain't even mind because I'm chilling. But at the same time, I was enjoying it with people who I cared about. So it wasn't all just like I was doing it for other people. I really did it for me, but that also developed too. You know what I'm saying? Like that ego thing, it definitely developed while I had it.
Yeah, and that's something that's major. Like, even if let's say I have these personal experiences, right? And you said something one time that was big, like personal experiences don't stop when you're a child. And let's say before that I had a value and I just really wanted the car at that time. And then I get the car and then like I'm getting all this attention. It starts to shift. Like, damn, this is bigger than I thought it was. It's a big thing. Like, I just thought I was going to get the, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted the experience, and now like I'm getting these new experiences where I'm getting some likability from it. And then so now, because I had my era like kind of before you did when I pulled over there in a Challenger, and like I'm at the gas station. Random people, I don't even know. I didn't even have the Hemi. I had the V6, I had the SXT. It had the trim and the rims. I'll go and in random gas stations and they're like, hey. I'm like I'm tore up. I got the shorts on, and I used to walk around like the hoodlum with a wife beater on. You know what I'm saying? Probably had a watch, chain, and some shorts or whatever. And like I'm getting attention. I'm like, okay. It became a part of my facade, like a part of, or it became a facade at some point, and I didn't realize it until I had to give it up. Once I had to give it up, it's like now I'm coming around. They're like, hey, what a car! You know what I'm saying? What a car, or and I have to say something. I have to whatever. I have to make it up, and I feel uncomfortable. That's when you know that it's a little bit deeper than
sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's more of or like one of your values is now what society thinks. If that makes sense.
Yeah, man. I like that. I like the vulnerability. I like the transparency. The transparency of that for sure. So I want to take it to maybe you could if you want to. If you want to bless you, by the way. And if you want to go into the next point, the emotional attachment and sentimental value.
Right. Let's read that, man. So, emotional attachment and sentimental value. Why do some people or things hold irreplaceable value due to emotional connections? Can sentiment? Oh, okay, we're gonna answer that.
Let's take it one at a time.
Right. What you think about that?
Why do some people or things hold irreplaceable value due to emotional connections? Okay, so I think it's because it depends on, because a lot of times certain things or people may have been a part of someone's life in a time period where it could be when they had like the most happiest that they've ever been or experienced, or they were just in a real downtime in their life, and that person or that thing was just a part of that experience. I think it has to be connected. Typically, generally, it have to be connected to some sort of experience at a certain point in time in one's life, to where this person or this thing developed developed some sort of value to them and with them, and I think that's why I think that's why people hold on to things. Am I reading that correctly? Did I answer that?
No,
Okay, cool.
for sure, man. And that's kind of similar to what I think, like, to take it a little bit further, like sometimes too, when you are in that, let's say I have something near and dear to me at the time that something major in my life happens, right? I think it gets worse when that thing is now a tangible symbol of that memory. And so once I get rid of that tangible symbol, it's almost like I'm doing something with the memory. Like I gotta let it go. You know what I'm saying? Let's say I got a car that somebody near and dear to me used to have, and they pass away. Right? I'm like, nah, that was such and such car. I ain't gonna get rid of that. And in our mind, getting rid of that is a disrespect to the memory.
Yeah.
And that's another conversation. But
Not
I know,
even, if I can expound on that, not even so much a disrespect to the memory, but that is, why do you think they holding on to it? Because they're holding on to that moment. They holding on to that point in that time of existence. Like, they're holding on to that moment. To release that object or that person is to let go of that part of time in my life when that might have been the only time I experienced joy in a long time. That might have been the first positive thing that I experienced after my abuse. You know what I'm saying? And that was like my coping mechanism, like releasing that. That's like letting a part of me go, because that's a part of my story. That's a part of my experience.
Yeah. And that's tough, man. Like, and I don't have enough wisdom to really expound on. Like, that's a whole nother like topic of moving on. Like, what does that mean? What does that look like? You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could touch upon that later. But just the acknowledgement of it is enough for now. Like, I know why I'm still holding on to this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say because I want it, or because I want to, and be like, nah, listen, this here reminds me of my grandpa, my cousin, or my mom, my brother, and my sister. And whenever I want to be in a good time, or whenever I want to remember them, I can go and touch or look at this thing. You know what I'm saying? Whether that be a good memory or a bad memory, right? And so next thing says, can sentimental value be quantified, or is it entirely subjective? And so what this means, though, because I had to kind of break this down for me. Like, can your sentimental value for something be measured? Or is it just really based on, is it like just all personal? Like, you know what I'm saying? Is it just, can it come out, or is it only a like inwards thing? Like, could you explain it, kind of thing? You know what I'm saying? So what you think about that,
Like,
man?
I think you said it pretty good. Like, can it be measured? Like, does it have measurable value? So we could say like, the cell phone, right? Like, do this cell phone has measurable value? Of course. They have a market price on it? Of course. Right? But let's just say iCloud and all that stuff did not exist, right? Let's say that I couldn't transfer my memory for whatever's on this device. I can't transfer it to another device, or however that go. Back in the day, we wasn't really able to do that before they started doing the little memory cards. I would keep this phone because my children growing up, my love life experiences, even when people transition to the other side, I got pictures and videos of all that family reunion. So I feel like, yes, it can have both. I don't think it's always entirely subjective and personal to me. It has a value for the market, but this phone might only be worth $200 now. But to me, it's priceless. It's almost irreplaceable. You know, for what the conditions that I had put on it, is irreplaceable to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, what you think
All right.
about that? Or what's your
Uh,
look on it?
yeah, man. And it says, can sentimental value be quantified? Like, I think it could be quantified in terms of hierarchy. Like if I'm comparing it to other things of sentiment. You know what I'm saying? I think
Mm-hmm.
that in my current headspace or my current understanding, that's I think the only way that you can um like quantify it, right? Because like you said, it's like at a certain point it's priceless. But also wait, maybe at a certain point, like I might not be willing to pay that much for this thing. You know what I'm saying? So I guess in that regard, like I think it'll be tough to quantify, but I think when you're comparing it to other things or um just kind of like what you are willing to do for it, I think you would know the quantification. But in that regard, it'll be hard to, you know what I'm saying, measure it with somebody else. Like if that makes sense.
Right. And so when you said what you just said, like I might not be willing to pay that much for that thing, that's a totally different perspective than what I was saying. So me it was more personalized, or just I was like looking at it from like society might put a price on this particular thing and then I got my price for it. But then you have like, let's just say, because this have so much sentimental value for me, I might price this at $1,000 like retail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you might not pay retail for it because it don't mean to you what it means to me. You just might just need a
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah. And
That's
that's what
kind of
I'm
how
no,
I'm hearing you saying.
no, I'm saying like it can have I'm talking like still on sentimental value. Like it can have sentimental value for me. Like it could represent an old friend. Like we talking about something. Let's say we talk about two different things
Okay, yeah.
where it means something about an old friend, and then I'm talking about something that means like that's connected to my mom's,
Mm-hmm.
right? The old friend thing, I mess with him. I love the memory, but I might not want to pay $4,000 for it.
Mm-hmm.
My mama
Yeah, yeah,
device, on the
yeah.
other hand, when my mama pictures in it, that's priceless. I'll pay whatever
Yeah.
for that. So I'm
Uh-huh.
saying, in terms of that, like it can be measured as
A hierarchy. I get it now.
inside
Yeah.
of a comparison to something else. But
Yeah.
like putting a number, I don't know if I could like put a number on how much I'm willing to pay for this and put a
Mm-hmm.
number on how much I'm willing to, you know what I'm saying? Like it could be measured based off of comparison is what I understand at the moment.
Facts. I get that, cause
Yeah,
and I think that's an acceptable perspective of it
yeah,
too. You know what I'm saying? I think you can look at it both ways like that there. So
yeah,
I like
facts.
that.
Yeah.
So if we
Mhm.
don't have nothing else on that one, I'll go to the next one. We got
Facts.
replaceability in the age of consumerism. In
Mm.
the culture of disposability, how has the rise of consumerism affected how we treat people and objects? That's a real deep question, Cole. That's a real
Mm.
deep question. Man, we live in a culture. We got cancel culture. We got, you know, situations where people don't, they one and doneers. We got some one and doneers out here. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
I don't believe in second chances.
Hmm.
You know, we got go ahead.
I think we could add the second question. I think the second question I think we can merge the two
Let
because
me
of
see what would that one talking about.
it says, are we more inclined to replace rather than repair, both physically and relationally? You know what I'm saying? Like so it's like
I guess you
it kind of
can.
gives us like it's kind of in a way answering the question for us, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm gonna let you go first and on your answer the first question, and like maybe I'll merge the two when I answer
Okay,
mine.
yeah. I like that. I like that.
Mhm.
So how I was looking at it was the rise of consumer. How does the rise of consumerism affect how we treat people. And that's almost like, yeah, let me see. Replaceability in the culture of disposability. Boom. So like we treat people nowadays like we treat objects, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um and today in today's time, people are more disposable than ever. I don't know if the consumerism mindset is the reason why, because we have a mindset that there's more out there. We have a mindset that there is, I can get another one. You know what I'm saying? And then in the music today, you hear that a lot. Like, like men and women, dudes and chicks, they running through whoever they with. Boom. They ain't getting it. They ain't doing it for me. I'm gonna get somebody else. You wanna play games with me? I'm gonna play games with you, and I'm gonna get somebody else. And now they got somebody else playing games on them, playing games on the other person. It's a lot of stuff going on. But how, you know, how all that kind of come around full circle to me. I can't necessarily say how it affected it per se, but if that is the case with the consumerism mindset, I think that I see it. I see it in society. I see that that's just it for me. Like, people are replaceable, just as replaceable as things. Like, one person to be in your life one day, and then the next day they out your life. One last quick point. I seen a picture on Instagram today, or not today, some time ago, because I'm not even on social media right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it showed a picture of like a timeline of like 2020, like 2022. It was you had a whole bunch of friends. 2023, it was you had fewer friends. 2024, it was you and just your dog, literally like your pet. It was just you and your pet.
Mm-hmm.
And it just showed how, as you go through life, you just lose people. At some point in time, you probably had buku people, buku partners, buku whatever. You was in the clubs, you was in the whatever, you was playing basketball, doing all this. And now today it's just you. It might be you and a couple people, and select few, or nobody. It might just be you and your dog or your cat. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's just something
Facts.
that I noticed.
Yeah, man. And you said a lot of great points. I'm gonna see my point before I lose it. First, like, I think what you said is true with the "I can just get another one" thing is what the current consumerism has contributed, like the mindset that is contributed to, like what it has contributed to the current mindset, right? It's like, I can just get another one, right? And in a world that we live in now where people are attached to objects, right? And if I get cars and I can just get another car and I can get buku cars and ain't nothing really rare no more, right? Like, we know that some cars come with women, some
Yeah,
cars come with deals, some cars come with friendships, some cars, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so
sure.
because people are attached to these things and nothing is scarce, like when they make something, they make about 3
Mm,
billion of it.
mm,
Like, my appreciation for it is it goes down. Like, I don't care about what I do. Whatever, I get another one, right? And I know that when I get another one, people are attached to that, right? Like it
mhm.
affects my mindset. You know what I'm saying? And like what you were saying with the dang, what's the last thing you said? I know I was gonna lose it. I should have wrote it down. But
The last thing, if I'm not, what was the last thing I said? I don't know, cause I'll be shooting in the dark if I'm
right,
going
right,
back.
right, right. It's all good, man. But I think just the and we got this thing now, man. Like even with the things that's been introduced to consumers, like apps. Like, we got an app where we could just swipe left and right on people. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like, we just, like, I don't like them, swipe. I don't like them,
Mm-hmm.
swipe. I seen a video like that where, like, nowadays how it is, and had a woman at the table, and she swiped past about 30, 40 dudes and got the dude
Mm-hmm.
who the chin was good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He
Facts.
was sculptured or whatever. Then they had the chick who wasn't really valued. I don't think stuff was like that back then. Stuff was a little bit more scarce. People like, oh, I remember what you said now. People value things a little bit more because there wasn't many assembly lines, right? You came across something and like it could have been as simple as a rock. People used to carry certain things of sentiment with them, you know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
Just a rock.
Right. And it's like I could now you could go to the store and get buku rocks. You know what I'm saying? How is this doing different from the other one? You can get somebody now to go make the rock that you had. So even if you lose it, somebody can replace it with the same symbol and stuff on it, and you like, okay, this is good enough. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever, right? And so now subconsciously I'm a little bit more careless with the rock now. You know what I'm saying? And what I want to say about the yearly thing, like because you was like let's say from 2020 and then 2024 I got less friends, and I would say to me that is that's like a symbol of a cycle, right? Like I feel like back in the day, like you didn't have many people you ran with because you couldn't even keep up with them. You know what I'm saying? And then there was a certain day and age where you had buku friends just on social media. Like I got a couple of thousand people on social media. I don't even know like that. I don't even talk to them. But like we friends on Instagram. Fact. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
And so maybe on that thing, it's like I realized that all these friends ain't good, and all I needed was my dog at some point. You know what I'm saying? Right. And sometimes in some instances that happened to people like way before 2024. You know what I'm saying? So that's my answer on that, man. That's how I feel like. I know it's a mouthful, but
pause.
Oh, this man pause anything.
You got a mouthful. You know that was a mouthful.
I said that was a mouthful. Damn. I ain't say I got a mouthful. Right. I still it could be a mouthful of food. You know what I'm saying? I could be being greedy or something. This man, hell, dog.
And that's the problem. It wasn't specific. You ain't say I got a mouth. That was a mouthful of words right there. You leave it up to the people to put whatever they want in your mouth.
That's a society thing right there. I tell you that. I tell you that much right there.
It definitely is. I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm scarred with. Listen, I'm scarred with. I'm Paul scarred. Yeah. I'm traumatized. When I first moved down here, the barbershop that I worked at, and everybody in that be like 40 and older. That's all they did. Like nothing you said was safe up in there. And another thing that they didn't do was argue pauses. If you was a pause, okay, it was a pause. Is a pause.
Right.
I ain't arguing no pause. That's just how it was.
Right.
Pause culture up in the dog. So it's embedded in me. Pause. So you gotta still sometimes you gotta cap it off. But last but not least for this point, Cole, you may have touched on it in years, but I do want to tap in on this one. It says, are we more inclined to replace rather than repair, both physically and relationally? I think I can only speak for what I've seen. I mean, I'm not in a space where I am, I see a lot of people, free will ain't particularly on that level where we have like a bunch of people who coming and giving feedback and we shooting out polls and they letting us know, are you more of with repair or replace? I think based off of like the media, based off of music today, I think that they pushing more of a replace culture. But but I think if I had to just guesstimate, I'd probably say 60-40 ratio. I think maybe closer to 40 people may actually repair things, maybe even closer to 30 actually repair. I think most people are on the replacing side of things. Even with to that first question that we had tapped in on the repairability, I don't think too many people these days are willing to actually repair. And then we got this movement with I guess like just finding your self-worth, and people are assessing themselves and they feeling. And I think nowadays people kind of saying that well, maybe this ain't really where I'm supposed to be, or this ain't for me. I need to assess myself. And maybe I need to move on, and then you got those people who stuck in these situations. What you think?
Yeah, I think this can go a whole bunch of different ways. I think the thing that matters the most when you answering the question is the underlying reason for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we just finished talking about things with sentiment that I would want to repair rather than replace. right? But let's go a little deeper and talk about like because it say physically and relationally, right? When we talking about repair, one thing is missing is internally, I believe, right? Because even when we talking about relationally, right, I can replace that person and not repair it. But if I have that mindset, I got that mindset with everything, right? Like instead of repairing my want to cope with something, I'm gonna just replace the coping mechanism. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna just like I tried to repair the fact that I need to fill a hole, and I stopped smoking, but now I eat a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so that is an entire mindset. Like if it is, you know, because there are reasons why you should replace and reasons why you should repair and reasons why you should replace, because some things need to be new, right? Like we need to variety is what your boy say. Variety is certainly the spice of life. I believe that we should, after a while, you know, in terms of moving forward, things need to be new, right? Some things need to be replaced, right? Old habits need to be replaced with new ones so we can get new things, right? But I may have something that's irreplaceable no matter why I think it is or not, like my past. Like I can't replace it, but I can repair my perspective on it. And I don't know, maybe that's even replacing my perspective, huh? I don't know. But I guess that's different from, so first of all, that's definitely different from internally, or you know what I'm saying, whatever, instead of something tangibly, right? So my thing with the tangible stuff, hey, you know, if it's something that is better off being replaced, or there's something inside of it that is needed, repair it. You know, if you got all of your worth out of it, it served this time, it's time to replace it.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. I think one thing you said for sure is that it definitely can go a bunch of different ways, even according to like if we talking about a thing or people. Some things might break and then you could just repair it and you back good. Like, you know, your transmission might fail, get it repaired and you good. It might cost, but you ain't got no car note. With my transmission, that's how I got into the car, buying became a slave of finance. And when my damn transmission went out, and I use that as an excuse to go buy a new car. And a lot of y'all do that, and then y'all be free slaves, and then y'all go make yourself back in slave because I almost spent $2,000 on this. Just finance that. Finance your $2,000, pay that off, keep going about your day instead of going get a $30,000, $40,000 car, and now you back on a hamster wheel. You don't want to do that. Man, look, we got one more point that we're going to tap on, man. I appreciate everybody who made it to this point in the podcast, being attentive and in attendance. We do want to urge y'all to at this moment, if you gain value, if you're still here, if you're here and you subscribe, send this to somebody who you think. I know we didn't do moment of silence. I know. We're gonna do a moment of silence at the end. No. We're gonna do it at you can do it at the end. Cause I think the very first time we did it at the end. But we're gonna get, if you're watching this still and you found value in this conversation, send this to somebody, at least one person. Leave a comment, thumbs up, like the video, because we still are very fresh and we trying to get on the map. So how you can help us get on the map is sharing this video, sharing the content, liking the content, and commenting under the video. Share your thoughts, share your ideas, share your points, share your values. And that's gonna take us into this next point. This is the final point, and it kind of go hand in hand with the one that we just talked about. But we're gonna talk about. Let me pull it up. Let me find it. Value right number 5. Number 4. Number 4. Well, the one that I'm seeing that I feel like it go pretty good into it is number 5, value and time investment, because I think that's very significant when it comes down to if something is necessarily particularly worth letting go, or if it's worth keeping on, making it work or letting it go. Right. What you think? Right.
Let me see. How's the amount of time, effort, or energy invested in this relationship or how the effect is perceived? Hey, listen, that's what I was. Let me see. Are things value more simply because of the resources we put into them? Um, so earlier I was talking about how do I know what my perceived, like how do I perceive my internal intrinsic value?
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally like I know the value in it because I know how much time that I put in it.
For
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? And time is valuable, and I know that I know that I have understanding that time is the price for things that are priceless.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And so like in that aspect of me, um my time, effort, and energy, like but I don't want to get too far away from the question. How does that affect the value that I like, how we value them? You know what I'm saying? And I guess I'm thinking about it now in the terms of like my replacing or repairing this thing. Like how much time did I put inside of this, like this person? Like should I just replace it or should I just repair it? Right. And I value that. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like if I ain't put about 30, 40 hours years into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wouldn't want to immediately, I wouldn't want to let it go. I definitely have different understanding. I have, like, you know, tangibly we got that Chevy Cruze, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I put so much time into it. I put so much time into it, right? And I could think like, man, because I put that much time into it, I'm not going to give it up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what I'm mistaking is that I haven't cashed in on that time that I put into it already.
Right. You ain't got like a
That time,
return on the investment.
right? I got my return on investment. My return is I got to drive the car more than I was after. You know what I'm saying? When I put the time into it, and I got experience.
Yep.
I got a lot of experience. I got some grit that you know what I'm saying, from me having to work on it and get up on Sundays and go do it. I ain't feel like it. I
Yep.
got that. I got some knowledge on vehicles. You know what I'm saying, which is probably the biggest of it, the grit and the knowledge that I receive, right? You know, and sometimes like some things you have to let go based on a whole lot of other factors, but don't ever think that the time, like that's kind of that's almost like an immediate thing, right? And I don't know, man. Sometimes that is a thing that you have to assess, you know,
Mm.
because there are some things that I have to, you know, I do have to get something out of it. Like I came this far, maybe in my career, and um, you know, it's either I replace the career or I try to repair what I need to, you know what I'm saying, certain things so I can keep on keeping on with it. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
I like that, man. I like that. I like that perspective on that
Mhm.
aspect of it because it does state different things. Just to kind of clarify the question a little bit, how
Mhm.
does the amount of time, effort, or energy invested into a relationship or object affect its perceived value? And you know what? This one I'm gonna do it like how you did the other one, and then also too to add on to that, because I'm gonna tap on both of them. Is are things valued more simply because of the resources we've put into them? And I'm gonna choose to go the relationship route, and I'm gonna conjoin them to by talking about the time invested, the time and effort and energy invested into a relationship, and also the resources that we put into a relationship. Um, it definitely, I think that's part of. I think it definitely adds more value to it. I think when you put in time, energy, in what was the word that they use? Resources um into a relationship, and this can apply to objects as well. I think that's one of the main things of factors of why it be so hard to detach from
Mhm.
relationships, from people, from things. Um, and I think the inability to attach in conjunction with the investment that we made into it, how we translate that investment and the lack of a return that we got on it. You know, your investment, you could be investing into your future, and you invested a lot of present time for the future, years into a relationship, and then that future payout, it just don't happen. And then when that happens, sometimes you have people who develop spite. You have people who develop depression. You have people who are unhealed and they get into other relationships and they repeat the cycle. You know, they create and repeat a toxic cycle. I think that it does add more value than people give credit for. And I think that in order to for people who are in that kind of situation, just kind of like, I want to say, I don't want to seem so vague and just say, you know, wake up. But if you have the liberty of hearing this and you in a situation like that, I would say use this opportunity to evaluate. But I think that those particular factors do contribute to situations like that. And, you know, because they once upon a time, they were valuable and they became a part of who you were. And when
Right.
things don't go your way, it kind of distorts some things. So
Right. If I may, man, like I think I kind of brought it full circle in my head. Like I think that the time, the energy, and the effort that we put into something matters sometimes more than it should.
for
Right.
sure.
I think time, energy, and effort should be something that we put into everything that matters. Right. That should be the measurement of how serious we taking this thing. I think that sometimes I got you. I feel like the way we should actually value the thing is how it's attached to the overall goal or the purpose that we have in the first place. Like I'm putting time, energy, and effort into this relationship because I thought that it was what was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Like like at some point we had a conversation, right? At some point I just chose it. Like I chose like let's say with my lady, right? Stuff got hard, but at a certain point in my life, I chose her because if successful, this thing benefits the entire goal, like all the way, right? Like there was the foundation was there enough to where it would benefit the goal regardless. So my the way I would assess me replacing, it's like, does this thing still benefit my goal? Right? I don't feel like I should be like, of course I put time, effort, and energy into this thing because I was taking it seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like to kind of get away from because I realized I kind of was too into the logic of just questioning and not internalizing the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel like we should measure a thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, should I replace it or not? Like, does this thing still go to gold? And if you ain't putting time, energy, and effort into it, you ain't taking it seriously. Period. You know what I'm saying? So what you think about that?
Oh wow, that was a lot. I had that was a lot. I think you absolutely hit it on the head. I think you brought it around full circle really well. And to be honest, that is another aspect of the actual value thing. When we was cooking up the topic and when I was brainstorming on my end, about value and replaceability. That's where the replaceability part came from because of how one showing that how serious is something to them based off of their actions, based off of how you treating it, based off of the amount of time and energy, even investments or sacrifices that you're contributing to it as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So I think you made that come around full circle. If I can.
I think we're gonna part two this thing, man. I think there's a lot of stuff that we still need to talk about.
You think so?
Yeah, man. Because I you just maybe remember when we were brainstorming about it earlier about like the point that I actually wanted to. I kind of thought this thing was about that you was kind of talking about at first, but it brought it to a more, you know what I'm saying? Just had like different points and stuff, you know. But
Well, you make sure you just remember. You make sure you write it down,
yeah,
and then we
yeah.
can do that. We can pick up the conversation. We can pick up the conversation again, man. But yeah, I like how you brought that around full circle. And I don't totally remember what it was I had kind of wanted to tap into. It was something about value. You said focus on the things that matter, and then, but I was like, how do you determine what matters? But then you came around and you answered it, and you was like based off of the current goal, the present goal, and that kind of determines what matters. But yeah, man, that was amazing, man. I think I really like this conversation, how we did it.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! And
Yeah,
this probably one of our longest running episodes so far. But as we grow, as we get better, as we gain more wisdom and knowledge, as we experience more in life, and these concepts, these conversations, these topics get more intricate.
Mm-hmm.
It'll produce a longer podcast, man, a longer conversation that needs the time to breathe and to actually fully develop, open up, so we can get to the roots of this thing, so that together we can become the best versions of ourselves. Disregard this. That don't mean ain't about that.
I'm about to say, what is that?
But nonetheless,
yes, sir.
Man, we just want to personally thank each and every single one of our supporters, not just our supporters, our family. Hold on, I just thought about something cool. I just thought about something. Let me turn it down a little bit before I get too far ahead of myself. We're going to take this opportunity, we're going to take this moment to give a moment of silence for our brand new subscribers, our brand new FreeWill family, for each and every one of y'all who believe in us, who support us, and who are the best part of the FreeWill podcast, the FreeWill brand. And on that note, we just want to personally thank each and every single one of y'all who believe in us, who support us, who share our content, who put us out there, who put us on the map. And thank y'all for being the best part of the FreeWill podcast. You already know what it is, so we ain't got to ask what it was. You can catch us here next week, 8:30 Central Time on Friday. Don't just meet us there. Meet us there. You better believe it. And that's how we signing out tonight. It's full broad daylight. I'm talking about signing out tonight. But yeah, thank y'all for joining us, man. We're gonna catch y'all on the next one. Stay free. Yeah.